Imagine only having the last few chapters of a book to read. You might finish and wonder, why did the book end that way? Who were these people, and why did they do what they did? If only you could have read the rest of the book, beginning with chapter 1. Some people dismiss the Old Testament, believing that as a Christian, the only books that matter are the ones in the New Testament, right? Here's why it's very important to read and study the Old Testament as well as the New Testament. Without the Old Testament, we do not know fully who Jesus Christ is. And if we don't have the full picture of Jesus Christ, then we can't grow and mature in the faith as Christians. We're incomplete. Without the Old Testament, we can't understand the actions of the early church and the Apostle Paul. As Elizabeth Achtemeyer, former professor of Old Testament, wrote, the nature of the Christian church is defined in large measure by the nature of Israel in the Old Testament. What Israel was, or was supposed to be, the Christian church is. Christianity didn't begin with the New Testament. It began in Genesis chapter 12. And finally, we cannot fully understand the nature of our lives as Christians unless we understand the nature of Israel. Right? What did it mean to be the chosen people of God? What was the mission of Israel to the world? And to understand baptism, one has to understand covenant. And to understand covenant, well, you guessed it. You need to go to the Old Testament. Genesis. The roots of our Christian faith lie deep in the Old Testament. Don't ignore the roots. It very much affects what grows above ground. Well, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me, and enjoy your time reading the Old Testament.